to the black sheep researcher. So guys, this is a spell etymology special on the word ghost. My last video about memories hit a chord with a lot of people and I had a lot of comments on ghosts. So I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the word ghost, show how it's connected to water and memory and different things. You'll see it. I might even include an old etymology video I did on spirit, which also ties into what I want to talk about. And then at the end, instead, I will not normally I don't have a little chat, but I'll have a little chat because it's a special on what we're just talking about and how regard ghosts and memories are all connected. So hopefully you're going to enjoy. You've seen the intro, so on with the spell etymology. So let's start with what they say and talk about the etymology of the word ghost. Now it's intriguing to say the least what some of the things that it's mentioned and ties in with what I'm talking about. The memories, our breath, everything is stored all around us, even spirits. And this is why I made this video, because people were talking about ghosts in the last video. So I thought, you know what, I'll look into the word ghost and have a little chat about that at the end to see what, you know, what we can come up with together. So ghost, noun, Old English gast, meaning breath. It's a straight way, breath. Good or bad spirit. So it's telling you straight away, a ghost is a good or bad spirit. Now I did an etymology for spirit and I'll include that now. It's not going to come as much of a shocker. Basically it talks about his spirit, basically his breath. So basically straight away, so breath is S-P-A-I, so that's why they call a ghost a spirit. So I'll include that now. It's only a minute, so you can just see I've been talking about this for a very long time. So today's word is spirit.
Spirit. Spirit.
As you can see, a noun, the non-physical part of a person, which is a seat of emotions and character, the soul. Example, we seek a harmony between body and spirit. Another one is the prevailing or typical quality, mood or attitude of a person, a group of period of time. Obviously I don't take what these say as fact. I'll do my own looking and what I found I believe fits better again. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Thank you. As you can see, the root for spire or spear, S-P-I-R, is breath or breathe without the E. Examples, spirit, conspire, inspire, expire, perspire and respiration. So it's interesting that. So the S-P-I-R means breath. Right, here comes the it. It, origin, Germanic. English, he. Old English hit, Dutch het, it. Old English hit, neuter of he, of Germanic origin, related to the Dutch het. So it means he. Well, could mean hit, but you'll see now it just makes more sense being he as it states. So spirit could mean he is the breath. Right, so you've just saw that etymology for spirit. So let's carry on. So also means angel, demon, person, man, human being. In biblical use, the soul, spirit, life, from Proto-West Germanic, gastas, source of Old Saxon guest, Old Frisian jest. I wonder if that's like jester. So Middle Dutch geest, Dutch geest, German geist, spirit, ghost. This is a conjecture to be from a PIE root, geist, used in forming words involving the notions of excitement, amazement or fear. Source also Sanskrit header, meaning wrath, Avestan Zaisha or Zaisa, horrible, frightful. Gothic, Eugenesjan, whatever it is pronunciation. I butcher it, but hey, you wouldn't expect anything else from me. Old English gastan, to frighten. It won't be Gaston because that is obviously a name, but hey, it means to frighten also. Ghost is the English representative of the usual West Germanic word for supernatural being. In Christian writing in Old English, it is used to render Latin spiritus. So I've already showed you that etymology of spirit. A sense preserved in the Holy Ghost. Sense of disembodied spirit or of a dead person. Especially imagined as a wandering among the living or haunting them. So you can see why people are talking and how I was about the dead being trapped in this void, in the gaps. Basically, atomically, the memory is attached in between these spaces. That's what I was getting at in the last video, and a lot of people were talking about this also. So talking about wandering among the living or haunting them is attested from late 14th century and returns to the word towards its likely prehistoric sense. Most Indo-European words for soul, spirit also double with reference to supernatural spirits. Many have a base sense of appearance, such as the Greek phantasma, French spectre, Polish widma, Old Church Slavonic videti, to see. That's intriguing. Old English skin. It's like skin. Your skin. It's porous for a reason. Whether that's how we emit these memories, thoughts, spirits, energy. Who knows? Also, skinning to shine. Other concepts are French reverent, literally returning from the other world. I like that one. Reverent, literally returning from the other world. What world is it? And there's a few other one that got me as well. Old Norse aptaganga, literally backcomer. That's unusual, not heard that before. A backcomer, which is similar to the reverent, returning from the other world. Breton bulgnos, literally night child. Latin manes, probably is a euphemism. And this is the intriguing bit. And we'll talk about why they use something else also, because that blew me away. The GH in ghost only appeared as early as 15th century in Caxton, influenced by Flemish and Middle Dutch geest, but was rare in English before the mid-16th century. Sense of slight suggestion, mere shadow of semblance. And examples they talk about in ghost image, ghost of a chance, etc. is first recorded 1610. Sense of one who secretly does work for another, like ghost writer. Ghost town is from 1908. Ghost story 1811. Ghost world, apparent word or false form in a manuscript due to a blunder, is from 1886. Giet. Ghost and machine was British philosopher Gilbert Rye's term, 1949, for the mind viewed as a separate from the body. The American Indian ghost dance is from 1890. To give up the ghost, die with Old English. What's intriguing also is the spelling for ghost originally was G-O-S-T, and I will get into that as well, because basically the same thing, but I like to cover all blocks. And you know how I do, I split the word up and I show you what I've come up with, which is not much different, but it's still intriguing to see. But what's also, I've been talking about how the weather influences our emotions. I've talked about this many years ago in an old video called the Tempest Equation. It wasn't the best, but it's when I first started, because it's funny how I was talking about this type of scenario where a weather map and the cold ridges and the warm pressure seems to affect our emotions. And tempest means storm. It means a few other things, but for instance, that old term that is used, storm in a teacup, was originally called tempest in a teacup, hence the storm and wind. And the weather was originally, etymologically, I don't want to get onto that now, just to show you, originally it was called weather, or weir, or wetter, or wind, which is another term for tempest. What you can also get from tempest is tempus, meaning time. Time backwards is emit. So do we emit the weather? Hence why I'm talking about this in regard to etymology of all these together. Tempest, tempus, Middle English from Old French tempesta, from Latin tempestas, season, weather, storm, from tempest, time and season. So all these things that we seem to be talking seem to be all connected. Right, let's carry on with my breakdown of the word ghost without the H. So here is ghost without the H. This is how it originally spelled. So there's some intriguing things in this one also to make you go So first one, they have a spiritual being, angel, devil, spirit, which we've talked about, soul of a dead person. Number 2, the Holy Ghost. Number 3, a villain, a scoundrel, a devil incarnate, a wicked looking creature, ghost. Didn't know that one. Number 4, the soul of a man, a spiritual nature. It's funny that, isn't it? Nature, mother nature, spirit being our breath. What do we breathe? Seems to be all connected. 5, a spiritual force or insight, a gift of prophecy. Think about this, guys. If you are breathing in memories because it's all around us, are you prophesizing because you are able to decode that information? Makes sense, doesn't it? If you have the ability to basically breathe in, to delve, to look into someone's memories, or a person or a spirit, a dead person. Remember, they say a spiritual person that talks to the dead is a medium. A medium is the middle. A medium is the water around us. All connected. 6, a breath, a blowing, a wind. God's breath, a spiritual wind, the blowing of a storm. And it's funny that I was talking about emotions, and then when you just on that spirit etymology that was in a little minute or two, the word spirit talks about emotions, your mood and your attitude. Crazy. It seems like it's all connected, isn't it? That'd be funny, wouldn't it? So you know how I was talking about in the last video about obviously Baal in the sense of the barium and aluminium and other stuff that was pumped into the atmosphere. Is this how it affects our memories, so on? Because obviously it's disrupting or influencing these memories, these chemicals, these whatever they're pumping into the atmosphere. Now I came across this as I'm doing this video, and see what you guys think. It is 6 years old. New mechanism discovered to separate air molecules, and they're called nano windows. Now, do you get where I'm going to go with this? If they're pumping this shit into the air and classing these things as nano windows, is this what is blocking or controlling the flow? Because listen to what it does. Nanoscale holes in graphene, called nano windows, can selectively choose which type of air molecules that can pass through. So literally, if what I'm speaking is true, you have to just have it faith, which is true obviously, but can you see where I'm coming from? If they are spraying nano scales, these graphene into the atmosphere, and it's controlling the flow, remember the memories, the spirit, the breath, everything's connected. So if they can control what is getting through, surely they can control what memories are coming through. If there's a specific size or whatever of these sizes of a memory, who knows? I'm just winging it, as you guys know, but it just makes you go, Scientists from Hsinchu University and PSL University France theoretically proved that the concerted motion of the nano window rim to selectively allow molecules to pass in a fast, energy efficient way. This brings up a new possibility to create an advanced molecular separation membrane technology. Crazy. The atomic vibration of the nano window rim changes the effective nano window size. Remember, everything is a frequency, everything is a vibration. So they control, like I'm saying, are they controlling by putting this effectively in the atmosphere? When the rim of one side is deviated and the other side is deviated to the opposite direction, the effective nano window size becomes larger than when the rim does not move. The effect is predominant for molecules of oxygen, nitrogen and argon, inducing an efficient separation of oxygen from the air. So obviously if we breathe in memory, so are we breathing in our soul, our spirit, exhaling? And are these basically controlling what is coming through? This is 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I'm just theorizing because what else can I do? So you can just say, I don't play the video just in case it gets pulled up, but you can just say, surprisingly, the molecules permeate through nanowindows, even when the rigid nanowindow size is smaller than the target molecular size. For example, O2 permeates faster through 0.29 nanometers nanowindows. 0.29. For you people out there, what is 2 and 9? Yes, you got it. 11. L11. So the ones that they are choosing equates to 11, and the other one obviously 33, which is another deviation of 11. But you can just see, it's just like wow. So you can look at this, guys. It's just I'm just theorizing, because when I'm just looking at the oxygen, and I'm going to talk about the molecules and different things in my thought section, because I'm just theorizing, guys, and I came across this, and it talks about a mechanism discovered to separate molecules. Also, if it is the case that all our memories and whatnot are stored in these places, are they can controlling the flow through this netting, this nano window. It's funny, isn't it? Windows to the soul, nano windows. Who knows? Leave it up to you, as I always do. So many years ago, yes, that long, I did a video called Monumental Cemeteries, the Dead Oh My. It was like a double series, because I was looking at other things. Now, as you can see on the screen, but I picked a generic image of a marble statue. Now, we see how people in the community talk about, oh, don't these look so lifelike? Oh, they can't do this with a hammer and chisel, and so on and so on and so on. And just like anything that I put on, only a small bit of you will remember me doing this, but the information doesn't get passed on. So a lot of you won't have seen this. I answered the question of what could these be, and how people are talking about, oh, they're so lifelike. I had an answer for it in the etymology, but again, because it's me, nothing gets passed around the community, because it's just me. They don't want you to hear a different opinion or see other information, especially for me. So we're talking about how memories are stored all around us, are we not? Now think about it. When, for instance, if you remember the beginning, it talks about how water holds memory. For whether it's been in contact, it will hold its memory. Hence why we're talking about images of ghosts, because the water that's in us evaporates, but it'll remember our shape, it'll remember our words, our spells. So why would it not remember our image? Then you look at the etymology of marble. So the marble, as you can see in your head, you can spell it in yourself. I'm just concentrating because the EL can be obviously God did something divine, so on and so on. But MARB, this is the following. Now tell me, this is not wow, especially when we're talking in the context of what we are today. Marb etymologically means dead, mortified, insensible, and here's one for you, because we're talking about the breath, and spiritually dead. Tell me that's not fucking blowing your mind up like it did mine all those years ago. There's no more breath. The spirit. Etymology talks about its breath. So there's no spirit, and they've been turned into stone. The memory of that water will surely form into something lifelike, because it remembers its host. And this is just a thought I had many years ago. You can look at them in the videos. I did one about Genoa, and I even went around loads of these monumental cemeteries, broken a lot of words down, and showed you some of these images of these statues, and they're breathtaking. So when we're talking about this video and about ghosts and different things, are these like the spirit being trapped, and it's what's left, and that's why it's so lifelike? Again, I'm reaching and I'm just theorizing, because hey, what can I do but theorize and show guys a different opinion on something. Again, all these opinions don't mean yes, I'm 100% and I believe everything. I'm just as you're saying, coming out with things as I'm doing videos, and I thought, oh, I did a video on marble etymology, and people talk about how lifelike they are, and I showed people the etymology, meaning spiritually dead, dead, mortified, insensible. And again, how many of you heard this from many years ago? No one. So it's just showing you I'm bigging myself up as well, because people say I don't big myself up enough. But, you know, I just crack on and get on with it, and this just blew me away, especially in the context of what we're showing today. So now I'm going to go into my thoughts. Normally don't do thoughts on an etymology, but we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome to the Black Sheep Researcher Spelletymology Special. Ready? Ooh. Keep clothed, ladies. Don't get the excitement get you. So, firstly, like always, I want to thank everyone that is liked, shared and subscribed. It really does help the channel and the algorithms. Please keep doing it and keep recommending the channel. We need a different opinion that is a little bit different out there. Just gives you something else to watch, doesn't it? And for anyone who's bought me a bar, which is Buy Me a Coffee, which the link is on the QR code here or in the description. Humbly, it gets me so emotional, and I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. Yes, I do have one. And without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you very much. On with the video. On with the video, Paul. So I got inspired by a lot of the comments last week because of what I was talking about, and in regard to ghosts, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a spell etymology special, where normally I just break down the words and show you different things, but I thought, you know what, I'll do a little bit more and I'll make it a special, not just a spell etymology video, but a special with a little bit more information and a lot of what ifs, because it intrigues me. And when you watch that video back, I know for a fact some of you will get inspired. A lot of people are a lot cleverer than me, but it's how you put the pieces together, and sometimes you do need an assistant, a locksmith, to get through that door that opens up, because you guys did it for me so many times. Hopefully I can do it for you. So when we're talking about memories being all around us, trapped etymologically to the space or the void in between everything. So it's like the air we breathe. And that really got to a lot of people, because they're also talking about memories and ghosts around us, and I briefly touched on it in the video, I think. But some of the comments inspired me, like I was saying, to come back and look at this a little bit more differently. And I'm glad I did, because I just love it, how the interaction, if you don't have that and you're going about the same old shit and you're controlling a narrative, it gets very stagnant and people turn off topics where you should just go back out and look and contradict yourself. I contradict myself in videos because I'm learning as I'm going. When I'm doing a video, I'm trying to think what the questions you guys will ask at home or whatever you are, and I try to, you know, counter that. So as you know, ghost, the spirits, etymologically used to be without the H, and it was just from a Flemish guy who brought in, so the geest became the ghost, and originally it was G-O-S-T. And when you look at it like that, and some of they're saying, just like the normal etymology, it does make you think. So spiritually, a spiritual being, angel, demon, spirit, soul of a dead person. Think about it. When we die, we either get burned, we used to get cremated, and we still do cremation now, but in the olden days they used to burn, and still do in other faiths. Now we bury the dead. But think about it. I talked about the ley lines being lie lines and the energy being trapped. I told you about how demons and other things use that to get around. Think about it. Are we saying light beings? But I think it's just more than that, get trapped because of some violent or something is holding them back in between, like memories. Because if the atmosphere is here and you're dying, your energy does not die, according to science. I can't prove this, but they say it keeps on going. So where does it go? Does it go through the lie lines, or does it go trapped in between the atmosphere, the bubbles? Because think about it, when you start looking at like oxygen, you know, the air we breathe, and how all the elements, because it's not just oxygen, there's loads of different things in it. How there's so much space. So that's what I'm talking about. People will call it the Kasich or the Akashic records, and I'm just talking about, like Babbage said, about atmospheric memory. So why can't ghosts be trapped in this? Makes sense, doesn't it? Because when I've been talking about before so many things of when you go into a room and you feel the negative energy, that negative dark energy of a spirit, and necessarily not all spirits are bad. But think about it, if you ever watch Supernatural, and when there's a ghost about, you can see the breath. It changes because it goes colder. Now, people say they're using the energy from the heat in the atmosphere. So if they're using that or anything electrical, think about it. Friction, and this is how I'm not saying this is right. I'm not sure if it's right, but it's how I pictured it in my head and how I explain it to people. So you're there on the land, and when you go up a mountain or go higher, it gets colder. Why does it go colder? Because the air that we breathe is not as dense. And when it's dense, that's where it traps all the molecules and the friction of the heat. So when the heat, the molecules are going like that, you just do that now, you can feel it. Your hand gets warmer. So that's how I just picture it. I'm not saying it's right, but lower you go down, it's more denser, there's more molecules. You go higher, disperse out, and there's too much of a gap. That's why it gets colder. The heat can't get in there. So that's why you see a lot of weird shit, ghosts at a lower level, because there's more thing that powering them, energy, giving them energy, and that's where it's stored, all around us in the water. So we're talking about the spirit, spiritually dead, the Holy Ghost, a villain, a scoundrel, devil incarnate, a wicked looking creature, a spiritual force or insight of gift of prophecy. Now think about it. People have always prophesied. Anyone can prophesize, and there's different types of prophecy, as we know, and then there's divination and using equipment, and there's some people who act as mediums, the middle person, and all around us is a medium. So people who are prophesizing using these memories, they have the code, because remember, the baseline for memories was just basically encoding and recoding the information. That's basically what it means. So if they're able, like us, if we're able to record anyone else's information out there and retrieve it, you could retrieve other memories from other people, not just yourself, and you are a medium. And some people could use this in life, and people automatically think if you're a medium, it's to talk with spirits. What if it's an information medium, a prophesizing medium? You're using certain people's memories. I mean, what if you're attaching to, because remember, everything is recorded, they say, past, present and future, and it's all out there. So if you can access these memories from the so-called future, because the future is always now, so we have to have the memories stored all around us so we can access them and remember them at will. And like I was talking through, walking just through a door makes you forget. What other stuff makes you forget? This is the crazy thing, and this is why I don't like to stand on my laurels. People are saying this is this and this and this, and this is no dig at no one, because I'm not like that. If people want to be funny and do all the weird shit and call themselves all sorts, let them. They ain't what we call a community. They don't want to be a part of it, because it's easy to ridicule than it is to look at yourself and say why you're ridiculing, because it's your own deficiencies. You're jealous. So And that negative energy, like anything, I don't want that in my life. I want to be as positive as I can, because life is hard as it is. So these people are accessing these memories. For instance, people talk about the Mandela effect. I've talked about it for many years, showing you how the Sumerians had these things, and they were called MEs. You know, I've been screaming about it for years, but nothing gets touched because it goes against what people want it to be. Now we're talking about this, and I would get the same if I believed something so deeply, and I said no, it's false memories. It would trigger people, but you have to just listen. If you're a researcher or looking into a topic, you know, and it's hard sometimes when you're so vested in it, and you know, I'm vested in various other things, but when someone ridicules it, you're like, it really hurts, because it's a curse. Remember, it's a curse, a sigil. I've talked about that, and this is the same like this. It sticks all around us. So if maybe these are false memories, but what if they're not your memories? We can't talk of a collective consciousness around us, or the Akashic records, whatever name we want to give it, the library around us. Remember, libraries, ley lines. What if we are just accessing other people's memories of a specific time? Like, you want to think of something, and you know, how do you know it's you? Because you don't look at yourself like face on when you do a memory and like flashback. It's inside, it's just a memory in you. So what if you're taking other memories? You're taking future memories. For instance, you've got deja vu. You've got jamais vu. So you've got all these things talking about experiences in life, and you've been here before. Show that memories, extended memories, anything what we're going to call it, is stored all around us. So why can't ghosts be the same? You die, the energy has to go somewhere, through the lines, the ley lines, the lie lines, or trapped in the atmosphere. Because, like I've always said, you feel it when you walk into a room, because energy has been trapped in the molecules. I've said it for so long. So what's stopping words, the spells that we use daily? Spells, when I'm spelling now, I'm creating a sigil, a pattern, a design, cymatics, because it's hitting the medium around us. So where is these memories, what I'm talking about now, going? They're getting trapped. It's hence why sometimes you go in a different room, go through the door or anything like that, or over there, and you're like, what was I thinking of? Now it's just gone out my head, and you're like this, and then you go back to where you was, and it's like the memory just breathes and goes back into you. It was on the tip of my tongue. One of the etymology was talking about tasting, gustus. A tasting, you're tasting the memories, because that was linked to tempest and the other things. So we're putting all this together and coming up with something I believe answers a lot. It doesn't mean it's correct, but it feels right. But it does not mean it's right. But it's bloody good. And it's intriguing. So when we're talking about memories and ghosts, and again being trapped in inanimate objects, in inanimate rooms, and they use the energy around them, that's why it gets cold, because the energy that you've suck up from electrical equipment or the atoms around us, and in those atoms will be the image of them, and also the spells. Intriguing, isn't it? So when we start think about it, because people also talk about possession, demons. What about ghost possession? And if they come in contact with you, do they not then transplant some of those memories in you? Water holds a memory. Spirits. Also drinking alcohol. So it really gets me, and a few other things that I want to talk about just make you go, That then draws me on to what else I was speaking in the video about, how people talk about these marble statues that is created. How can they create these? It's got to be advanced tech. Years ago, I did a video looking at monumental cemeteries, because some of these cemeteries are really beautiful. Some of the work that's gone into the statues, and I was just asking, oh, wow, they're so lifelike. Then you look at the etymology. Mab means dead, mortified, like mortis as well, insensible, spiritually dead. Huh. How is that possible? So if these are alive and spiritually dead, meaning breathless, the spirit, could it be an advanced weapon, a plasmaferic type of event that people talk about? Sometimes this sounds so fanciful. Everything sounds so fanciful. Like you're talking out your ass, you're winging it. Sometimes we are. But be honest that you are. I'm winging it because I'm just theorising. I'm using loads of what ifs. So we can just talk about this together and show each other what we're coming up with. It's just intriguing, isn't it? So if that happens with these statues, how is that created? How is it possible? Is the spirit of that person inside that person who are creating these statues, or is it a result of hitting a medium? You know, when people doing these designs, is it, how do they think they're coming to this? You know what I mean? So that is just an example of things also. So there's also experiments and how things affect memories and affects our reality around us. Refraction. Light refracts through water, through the medium. Sound refracts through the medium. So wouldn't spells, wouldn't ghosts, wouldn't our memories sometimes be distorted if they are, and this is a big what if they are stored in the water? And does it matter how we access these memories? Do we go through other molecules? Because if you, like I said, hold up some water, put some words behind it, like a mirrored, how you look at this word and the spell would change. Surely, if it's like light refracts, like you see it in the pool, or your vision, it's not everything connected. So does it matter or how you access or recode this information? If you're recoding it and bringing it and downloading it back, and it's going through all this process, does that affect the spell, the power, because you're seeing it backwards or not as it is? Are you seeing an image not as it is because it's hitting a refraction? Again, do that little experiment with a glass of water, and then whatever containing the water is, even if it's a square glass, a circle glass, changes the refraction of light. And when light, obviously we know light can create sound in certain aspects. It's called sonar luminescence. And that just, again, solar luminescence is, yes, is the emission of light from imploding bubbles. So we saw like the main thing, star in the jar and different things. Does the memories get affected by the medium that it's in? So if they've been contained in an air molecule over there, will these get affected by the medium, what's the container? Hence why I was talking and going into last week about them spraying all the shit in the atmosphere. Does that affect your thoughts? Because you download them, and then when you download these memories that have been tampered and polluted, is this the process that makes you ill? Because you're downloading code, and the code then would need a buoy. So when someone else is ill, that's why I've talked about the toroidal field. And when someone is ill, the distress signal is pinging out. And if you've got X amount of these, like I call them bios, the buoys, the code, via us virus. That's what I've always talked about. And yes, some people will talk about the other stuff, germ theory and other things, but I don't want to accept what people say. I want to look for other explanations, and this is why I get slated a lot, because people don't like it. I go into a group and I'll say this, and this, and within minutes, you're getting trolled. Just like on one of my videos, people just watch one Janice video, and they've not seen the process how I've got there, and they're like, oh, you've made all that shit up. Yeah, I've made all the ancient books and texts up. Yeah, that's me. So you can just see how this process affects people, because it's the people are still arguing over the truth. Truth doesn't mean truth, it's faith. That's why you get so triggered, because it's like religion. It's faith. So when you start putting all these things together, and just like illnesses around us, you're transmitting. It's why you want to get through this force field that you have. So our memories can be distorted by whatever they're spraying in the sky. And when I came across that, where have I written it down? Nano windows. That made me think, bloody hell, wow. Because if you think, if you can put these things around cities, are they making... Think about it. Are they... You know, when people are going to a city and it's really, really polluted, and well, they're making this pollution, but you could hide all this shit in it. Can you create these things? How do you create these things? And are these what's getting pumped in the air, controlling what is coming through, like a net, like I said, it's a window. You're controlling the size of what coming in. So big memories. What if it's the pool where we all connect? You know, I always talk about it at the source. And how do we get these people to invent stuff and come up with these great thoughts, great stuff, and they've accessed this pool? Do they want us to not connect to this source? Got it. No, itchy nose. Itchy nose. It just makes me go, wow. And seeing this nano windows and it showing you it's stopping like oxygen and air getting through, you put up this blanket over certain areas and it could be used as a weapon, but not just physical, spiritually, but how your memories are affected. Because if the memories are in these molecules and you're restricting the size that's coming through, that to me is scary. It's also wow, because putting it together with this, and that's what really does excite me, because when we're talking of these things, we don't get no other chance, do we, until we're together. So ghosts, the energy, I mean, people talk about how they don't pass over because they feel they have things to do, or they've had they've been murdered and different things, and it's evil, it's possession. Well, they're possessing the air molecules, just like a memory. So if words and spells can be in memory, why can't the physical aspect of that person? And they're using the energy and the spells around them. Do the spells change? Like I was talking about abracadabra. When that medium is hitting and storing, and I want to retrieve that to think, oh, abracadabra. Once if it changes it, so it's abracadabra, which means death. I'm dead. You're then downloading death. That's it. Just, I know, when you feel like you're onto something intriguing, and now we're talking about ghosts and the spirits and how the weather, and that's why I didn't really include the video, but I did a video a long time ago, Tempest Equation, because it was I wanted to know why the weather affects our mood, and now I know why, because it's affecting the memories around us. And also we emit it, because obviously time backwards is emit, and it's the memories that basically affect us. So if they can pollute and change the memories, and then we re-upload them, just like MK Ultra, they can implant. You've got voice skull technology of an example. So you can implant a memory. That's why I talked about the gifts of Hera, the 5G towers, the oscillation, changing the molecular level. And are they what is putting the nano windows around us? Is it, can you do it around a specific person? Can you do an area? All these things are to look at in the future, but I get excited. When you get like the spirit, meaning the breath, his breath, the spirit of God or whatever, or is it just your breath? Who knows? You know, when you start thinking, I'm itching all over now. Is it someone changed those nano windows? Have I got a tissue? Because I want to blow my nose also. Oh, pardon me. So it just makes you think, doesn't it? When people talk about germs and viruses, and you look at it different, you're looking at it as code. Ones and zeros. Is this how the memories are stored? In the system, the AI. Janus. Binary is 1 and zeros and ones. It's just like, you can't make this shit up. So you put everything together and surely you're excited and you're going, wow, I get it now. The energy around us contains thoughts, memories, ghosts, spirits, your breath. Is the essence of the person, is that when they were alive, and that's what's trapped in the breath. And when they're dead, that's when it's coming back and they form the image. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Because when we just seen films of ghosts and different things, like I was saying, the atmosphere around goes cold because there's less friction when it's cold, and they're using the energy. It just makes you think, doesn't it, that the spells, the medium, is all affected by the memories that it pulls. It's like when I was talking to you, you're so happy or you're so down. There's many times I've been really, really, really... Oh, another flying dust or orb shooting across the screen there. When you're really, really down, and vice versa when you're really happy. Your mood changes like that because you're going from one to another. What if you're sitting in an area that you had some bad thoughts or something bad's happened and it's been trapped and you're breathing it in? You're breathing it in. You're breathing that spirit in. And then you go to somewhere else or you do something else. And then your mood can change. And we talk about you being put into a bad mood. Well, you've walked into it. You've breathed it in. Just like a ghost. Ghost memories. And in an old video, I called it the Epiphany. And you can do it at home. There's just writing for a video, but the imprint, you can see it, the writing. So does that also change the strength or the velocity or of something? But anytime you write, you're leaving an imprint around you. So that's the same with our breath, our thoughts, our memory. It's all being imprinted around us. Just like my Epiphany video, when you write on paper, it goes through. So the force of you writing it, so some people write really soft, some people write hard. The force at the time depends on the Epiphany. I'm calling it Epiphany because that's just the video we did it in. So the force at the time, my memories, will make it more of an imprint depending on the energy that's been put into it. Just makes so much sense, doesn't it, guys? When you're talking about ghosts and memories being all connected all around us in these gaps. And it answers a lot of questions about Mandela effect, cryptozoology, seeing weird shit ass creatures, because the memory has been trapped in the molecules and the energy around them is being used to recreate them. That's why a lot of people have said why we've not, you know, you can call them time slips. Time is an emit Back to the Future. And they're only using the bridge, which is the molecules around us, the energy, because everything is stored. So if everything is stored of everything, is it, you know, remember, everything is an ME. Remember, it's the power in you, the channels in you. People could call also people that channel spirits. Channel is an ME, a Mandela effect. It's inspiring when you just don't hold yourself back and restrict. Am I right? Hell no. Am I wrong? Hell no. It's an opinion. It's a layer. You know, it's just how things are, and I just love doing this. So when people were inspiring me last week talking about the ghost, yes, and that's how ghosts are, because they're trapped. We used to bury the dead in the layer lines, giving the energy that way, and we also used to cremate, and the energy was then in a cloud, the smoke, the spirit's going into the heavens. So it's then reattaching in the molecules that way. But because there's more molecules down at ground level than there is up high, that's why not as much shit happens when you're so high up compared to being, you know, as lower to the ground. I don't know what the level is and when it starts to dissipate, but then you have to account sound. Sound can create holographic images. Sound can create light. So what all this refraction from sound and light to magnetism, different things. You know, I saw how water can become magnetic. Remember in that old video, creating a bridge. So, you know, electromagnetism could come into a point of view of attracting different type of memories. You then put on top of everything that the L-shites are doing, regard to these nano windows or whatever, because it's spraying, because we don't know what they're spraying, and we don't know what the ingredients do or hamper. You know, I in my videos, people were talking in comments about obviously different types of memory illnesses, and I put them in the original video because it's to talk about the little magnetites, little pieces of metal in your brain affecting your recall of an event, obviously in regard to Alzheimer's and different things. It just makes sense that these memories and everything is around us because we can show different examples. That is just a belief. It's not a fact, it's just my belief from what the information I see, and it's ever changing because a lot of people, Walter Russ and so on, have done videos on water and what it contains. Water is like, I think would be the next big thing, but I've been talking about this for years. You know, I've done so many videos on water, even, you know, it's just inspiring. So hopefully you've enjoyed this and this helped a little bit in regard to ghosts around us being memories stored or the energy stored. And I'm going to keep progressing this, and if he ever appeared on videos with other people, this is some things we can expand on and talk about, because I'm open to anything. I don't necessarily say this is fact. It's just that, you know, when you're going in a direction, you see things differently. Again, you do, don't you? You see things differently when you're going in a direction, and people always say, don't go back. Go back. Don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to me. As long as you move, you don't even have to move. Ignore what people say. Oh, you have to keep moving to see things differently. Yes, you do. But sometimes standing still and contemplating will help you see things also. So ignore anyone. You do what's best for you in regards to anything. That's what you know, you can take on information as an instruction type of thing. Or they said, let's try this angle. Because if you try different angles, again, like your perception, it changes whatever you look at. Like the old trick I used to use with a pen. If you looked at it from the back, you wouldn't know what writing was on it. Again, that's affecting the memory. My recall of that would be just a black pen. You guys at home could then read the writing that's on it. That affects the memory. So the angle, your perception, again, reflects and affects memories. So if your stance on something is this and you're rigid, you won't change. If you don't change your angle, again, the around us, the molecules, the languages, the spells, the energy is being trapped. Again, refracting. But we're refracting our thoughts and images around us. That just gets me excited, guys. And hopefully you can see that. It really, really does. And again, I want to thank everyone that has inspired me and constantly inspired me. Like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to keep making content. It's getting harder and harder. Because life is getting harder and harder. If we don't have each other, we need each other. You know, that's the community. Not the truth community. The truth does not exist. It's faith. I have faith in you guys. And if we don't stand up for a principle, you know, and that's when it sometimes gets hard because your principles are different than mine. But we know what generically is bad and wrong. Trolling is bad. If you don't like someone, ignore them. Don't waste your energy because it's a spell. It's a moment in time. And if you recall in these moments, even though you're infesting yourself with death and evil memories. So stay safe, always wear a smile, like, share and subscribe. If you want to help the channel more, the little QR code's there and the description's in the links in the description. And we'll see where this goes. See how you guys enjoyed this. Talking about ghosts and memories and all the other shit that I've put in between. I'm back again. The power just cut. The computer went off. I'm like, bloody hell! What's happening? Is that a message? I'm like, no. How much did it all get deleted? Because that's happened a lot lately. But it's not. It's just the last minute. So thank you guys for the help, the love, the inspiration. I wouldn't be here without you guys. So stay safe. Always wear a smile. Don't let the bar stools grind us down. And please, please, please do one good deed a day and pay it forward. Right, I'm going now. Bye, guys. Bye.